In actual fact, I started looking for jobs and getting my first job before I finished university. So at the end of 2009, I moved to Sydney and was working for a not-for-profit for a year. And while I was doing that, I was doing the rest of my subjects via distance until the point where I graduated, which was actually 7.5 years after I started university, which is perhaps a little bit long, but I wouldn't change a thing because of all the different types of experiences that I had on the way. And what that meant is that at the end of that period of time, I had kind of a couple of things on the boil. One of them was a full-time internship working in London. And so I was tossing and turning as to whether or not I'd go for one job or another. And a friend of mine was like, no, these guys, I know the business, I know the company, they are brilliant, you want to go work for them. I'm like, okay, cool. So I had a look at the business. It was in tune, it was aligned with what I wanted to do from a professional skill set, but it was also aligned from what my personal, like what I believe in. So it was something that I did want to be part of. So I sent off the application from Sydney at the time, and I had to move around the country for work. So when I was in Adelaide, I got an email back saying that I was going to have my first Skype interview. So I had my first Skype interview with one of the members of the Future Considerations team over in London when I was in Adelaide. A couple of days later, or a week later, I was in Perth, and so I had my next Skype interview so I got shortlisted to 2 people. So there was one person, me, from Australia, and another girl from Slovakia who was shortlisted for the role. And then I had the final interview in Perth, flew back to Sydney, was celebrating the fact that I'd come back after 6 weeks of not being in Sydney, and then I got an email saying that I got the job.
When I started my internship, I was loosely interviewed into the role, but that was when it was like okay, come and join us one day a week and sort of support the team. It wasn't really a very formal situation. And over time, as I performed well, I was employed on the payroll for 3 days a week, and then it just eventually turned into full-time. So I didn't have to go through some of those rigorous application processes that other people might. I did try to apply for some bigger corporate roles and things, but I just decided to stay in that internship and got offered that role and stayed there for a year. So that was really handy for me, and I think I would give that advice to lots of graduates. Just do some internships and get your name out there and get noticed.